Hi guys, Dennis here from Daddy Bob's RC. Hey, I've been asked a few times to maybe go through my whole collection of what I have, kind of do a kind of a walk around video and whatnot. I've given it some thought. Um, Maybe in the near future, when I get a day or two where I can simply take everything out of its case that has a case and get tables laid out, and I'll go through the whole thing. But I'm going to kind of run you guys. A lot of times you see this view, and then you'll see what I'm working on. I'm going to do something a little bit different. I'm going to walk around my shop and kind of show you a few things. What I do, what tools I work with, and whatnot. Just kind of share with y'all. It's this might take a while, so maybe go grab some popcorn, maybe a cold drink, and just gonna it's gonna be a one shot, one take deal. And if I screw up on some words and whatnot, we're just gonna fly with it. So here we go. Where most of the magic happens, I would say, is right here on this workbench. Between this one, that workbench, and this workbench. As you can see, shop's dirty. Nothing, I didn't bother picking up or nothing. I just letting it fly. Some of you have asked, well, how many models and whatnot do you have? Well, that box right there has got 3 trailers. You can kind of see all the pictures of everything that's in there. Behind it's another box like that has another 3 trailers in it. Behind here, there's another box that has 2 trailers, 2 flat deck trailers in it. I've got a couple of XD 5000s that I have tried to sell, but nobody seems to want, but that's okay. I've got my little S450 Bobcat there. I have the Norsco forklift right there. I have an XD dump truck down here in this box. Behind that box is my Faro Liebherr 954 in a box. And it's got I got pictures on all my machines. I can't see it very well, but there's my Grand hauler. There's my DXR 2 dozer. Here is my tri-drive Grand hauler dump truck. And here's another one of my Brooder Mac dump trucks. I had a pair of these. I sold one. In this box here is my globe liner. Here is my Freightliner red heavy haul with the lift axle. That truck there has a 60-to-1 planetary gear drive with a 10T 5-slot motor on it. I actually bought this truck. Less wheels and tires, and I didn't have the decals and a bunch of... I went through it and really detailed it after I got it, but this I built. Here's another one of my dump trucks. That one has a mechanical lift, a screw drive lift. That one's a hydraulic dump truck. That's a King hauler. This is a King hauler. This has got some Chinese brand or Vietnamese brand aluminum box on it. This has got a DPS box. My tri-drive has got a DPS box on it. We get up to here. I've got my double E EC 160E. It is the full hydraulic version. I have a Brooder Mac dump truck here. This is one of 3 of my very first RC conversions of the Bruder Mack dump trucks. I did 3 of them. I did a red one, a blue one, and this white cab one with the orange box. This one here, it's had white wheels on it, has chrome wheels on it. I've changed. I had a drop axle on it for a while, but it was non-functioning, so I took it back off. This thing has been around with me for a long time. Let's see. Well, and in this big box on the floor, that is where I keep my sorting trommel in. I have my sorting trommel in it, and a couple of conveyors that are also stored in this box, plus all my wiring and all the stuff when I go to a show. I can take this whole box with me, and it's got most everything in it. Here's one of my, it's my orange offset disc, and then I have a Kraus offset disc as well. Both are RC'd, and I can hook them up to a tractor and they raise and lower. Okay, there's my 850K Lasue dozer. That box there, I don't have a label on it yet, but that is a K336 Cabalite, a 16th scale. Here's my K688 hydraulic excavator. Now, you know, guys will say, well, why don't you get them all out of the box? Okay, you see how many boxes I have so far. Just imagine the work it would take. Here's our local Kroll Ready Mix. My Ready Mix truck. It actually rotates back and forth, and this is on a Bruder chassis, not on a Tamiya chassis. This is all Bruder with it has the axle tubes and 4 motors set up in it. Same way with that dump truck there. These are a couple of my very first. I've had these 4 or 5 years now, I think. Kind of when I started. And that's I think the ZL130. It's like a Soviet truck. I just put a flatbed on it. And that's only got a single speed transmission in it. And it's only 2-wheel drive. I've been planning on putting a dump box on it, just never got around to it yet. Here's my Buddy L Mack that I RC converted. Here's I think this is an STX 375 track machine, and my Panther, I think that's my Panther Industrial that I RC converted. That started out as an Ertl toy, so did this. Let's see. Oh, get up here. I do have my Klaus Scorpion. I think that's a JDM model, telehandler. I still have my Western Star, the original one I bought many years ago. Well, not that many years ago, 2-3 years ago or whatever. The only 10th scale toy I have, crawler, whatever you want to call it, is oh gosh, they call it the Sunset something, whatever it is, TRX4 Bronco. I'm a Ford guy, so that was the one I went with. Up here on the top, these are kind of I don't know if they're real rarities, but there's no scale to them. But let's see if we can maybe get them down a little bit better. But I have both of them. The one was called the Rawhide. They're both Macs. And the other one's called the Mac Vision. And I can't remember, I think this is the one that's the Rawhide, and the Mac Vision is in here. They're not really 14th scale. They're more closer to 16th scale. They're all got the controls, everything are in the boxes yet. The boxes are a little bit bad shape, but I don't think they've ever had batteries put in them. So I bought them just to have them, you know. Let's see. I'm going to move these boxes because behind here there's another box. Bear with me. Okay, behind there I do have my Tamiya Brooder Mac King Hauler chassis with the Brooder cab on it, and my dump trailer, triple axle dump trailer in there. Now we got down to here. I did go through my 688 case. That's all hydraulic excavator that I did. I think I did like 10 videos on that build. They're all here on YouTube. And here is an STX440 articulated 16th scale Ertl. Here's a TJ480 New Holland articulated four-wheel drive that's all RC converted. This is one of my very first RC converted tractors. It's a Case IH Steiger 620. Weighs in at about 28 pounds. She's pretty hefty as far as a 16th scale toy goes. Now I'm going to put a couple of these other boxes back away and we'll keep going. Okay, I've got a couple of Grand Hauler or King Hauler cabs sitting there, and this box here is an old Grand Hauler box, and I have this absolutely stuffed to the hilt full of truck parts. When it comes to the chrome, the tanks, all kinds of bits and pieces. I think down there I have a brand new King Hauler that I have. The only reason I opened that box up was to grab a cab because I messed one up. This one's all messed up. Something went wrong with the paint and screwed up the plastic, so I bought a new cab, just haven't put it back in the box yet. There's my little Tonka dump truck that's all RC converted. This is my 1550 case Ertl that I've managed to keep out of, I think, 15 total that I built. There is my Brooder Delta Cat skid steer that I RC converted. I'm going to move a couple more things here and we'll kind of go through a few more things. Okay, back there is my Case 921E. It's the same as an XD wheel loader. And I think in that long box there is my one main conveyor that I use to feed my trommel. I don't think there's anything else back in here. Nope, that should be good. Well, we'll put you on pause here for a second. Okay, here's one of my toolboxes that I take to the show. This here has a lot of little bits and pieces and stuff in it, and some adapters, and I think there's some battery alarms in here. These are all my rubber homemade bungee straps and chains, and ratchet straps. Just all kinds of little stuff that I would take to a show if I wanted to fasten down a load, so to speak. One of the things I did forget to mention, I think, was my 16th scale Nylon truck and gooseneck. But, oh yeah, I forgot to tell my Scania R620. I don't have a box made for that yet. There's several that I don't have boxes made for them yet. Oh, in my, this is Ertl Britann's. I took 2 of their sheep's foot rollers, filled them full of shot, made my own metal frame to support them, and made a swivel hitch to pull behind the tractors. Is there anything else I'm forgetting back here? Oh, I do have a box here full of shelving and stuff for my forklift. Some of the stuff's Brooder, some of it's New Ray, different things. Let's see. Here's another toolbox that I will take if I go to a show. And it's kind of overkill for what I got, but I got all kinds of hydraulic fittings, nuts and bolts, extra hose, just in case I happen to break something at the show. you know, all my nut drivers and hex drivers, all the small stuff. And yep, my syringes for doing the hydraulic fluid, and a little drill bit set. Just miscellaneous tools you'd take to a show. I don't go to many shows, but it's nice to have that along with you just in case you happen to break down at the show. Another thing I got to get a box made for, and I haven't done it yet, is my 4994 Case IH crab steer four-wheel drive tractor, 16th scale. And here I think, yes, it's my LXY T770 Bobcat skid steer, which I've got buckets and a set of pallet forks for it as well, and I've got an extra battery. Actually got 2 batteries for this. Let's see. Alright, many of you seen my blue Mack Granite with the RCP box. I had the build videos on this Brooder Mack. It's also on a Tamiya frame. I did a video last night, just replaced the bumpers and put some different bumpers on them. Well, so far so good. I don't know how bored you're getting. This one is not mine. This belongs to my friend Phil. He's the one and only guy here locally that's in the hobby. He's been in the hobby for probably, he remembers, and I don't, that when you went to shows you had to get crystals to put in your radios, because only so many people could have run at one time at these shows, unlike when we got the 2.4 megahertz radios or whatever now. So that goes back a while, and many of you probably know Rick Murphy. Well, he's met and knows Rick Murphy and talks to him quite regularly. So he's been around the hobby quite a while. Getting over to this one table here. This is just a mess, guys. I haven't had time to clean nothing. Here's my 345 DL. This is the one I haven't even gotten in the dirt yet. My John Deere. Just a second, I'm going to turn the lights on over here. Okay, that's a little brighter. There is my 16th scale 200D LC. That was based on an Earl Big Farm chassis with a Hoyna lower. This is a 580 hydraulic boom that I put on it, and I've done a video on that one as well. There's my 32-inch frame Western Star, and I have 3 of the big dog trailers. I believe they're big dogs is what they're called. Yep, you can get them through RC Full Drive or let's see, was it Horizon Hobbies, and RPP Hobby, I believe, had them. I think they're all sold out of them right now. I don't even know if they're planning on making any more or not. Here's my Diecast Masters 770 Cat dump truck. I did not RC convert that. I just RC improved it. It came with a little game controller, and I changed the drive so it's a posi rear end now. Changed the steering, put a different servo in it so it's got sharper steering, and actually it'll steer and dump under a load. Unlike the toy they manufactured was a... Anyway, it's still a toy, but I've improved it. So how many of you have I lost so far? I don't know if I got a whole lot more to show you. I might. Let's keep going. Now, this is my shelf of toys that may someday get converted. Possibly. Never know. I've got, you know, XD5000. I've got a water truck, Mack water truck, a couple of cement mixers, 2 more Mack Granites. I've got a 963 old 320 963 Cat, and then it's the old 320 Brooder. I've got two brand new Brooder A60s. H is in there. You know, those are the 9570Rs with, these are just plastic toys though, and they have a scraper that comes with them. I got two of those. A bunch of little discs and stuff that I've never got around to it. Some Ertl semis and whatnot. I think there's another Steiger 620 there. And then I think that is the red version of the 620. No, that's the 580. Brand new in the box. There's a bunch of track machines that I have that I've never got around to it. I think I've got two of the 9620Rs here. I got the log skidder I haven't converted yet, but I also have one up here that's in parts for pieces. Another 620 there that I've never converted. I think there is the wheeled 620 red version of the green one that's down here in that box. There's just all kinds of different ones that someday may get converted, may not, or I'm just going to sell off a bunch of this stuff and now quit converting. Probably not. I've done a video of this. This is how I do a lot of my machine work with this end mill. It's not great precision, but it saves a lot of time with a grinder. And I built all my dozers on this. It's just a cheap, well, Harbor Freight equivalent end mill. And same way with this, but I've actually converted this over to a brushless motor. You'd burn the brushes out in these all the time. So there's a guy in Florida had some on eBay. He had kits to convert this to brushless, and you have this controller and everything that goes with the kit. I burned up the motor and the drive belt, so I either throw it away or I spend a little bit of money and rejuvenate it. So I decided to spend a little money and rejuvenate it. And I got a lot of my tooling and whatnot for that and this in the drawers here. We can go over here. This was two workbenches or toolboxes or storage. I think they're called Seville Ultra HDs. They're like 20 inches deep. They're 8 foot long. And are they 8 or 6? Let me double check. Yep, 6 foot. I thought it was way short for 8 foot, but they're 6 foot by 20. And I strapped both of them. It's on wheels, and I can roll it around my shop if I have to. And then I fastened and strapped them together, so that kind of keeps it as a unit. Let's see. You know, this is my one drawer of all nuts and bolts and fasteners and hardware. All boxes of all kinds of different sizes, American Standard and metric, all kinds of different stuff in there. Here's where I keep all my receivers, some of my fans, my cooling fans, my micro switches. There's a few more cables and hitches. There is all kinds of just electronic stuff in this drawer. You know, every radio comes with a binding plug. How many do you need? Yep, all my wire, my wife for the servos, extension cables, just all kinds of, all my magnetic hookups for 6-wire and 2-wire plug-ins, all my XT60 connectors, XT30 connectors, all my JST plugs, just all kinds of wiring stuff. I mean, very seldom I ever have to, when I build something, very seldom have to, oh, and here is all my servos. Servos, this thing here, I've got some SPs, I got some hex flies. I got all kinds of different servos, 996s, 995s, servos, all kinds of different servos. I keep all my horns and all my, you know, every one of these comes with arms and whatnot. You never know when you're going to break one, or you might need to build something. I try to keep them all somewhat organized. And I think back here is my 25 spline servo horn stuff and my 24 spline servo horn stuff. Some high-tech servos, just all kinds of servos. Now this one here is mainly filled with everything that I got from Servo City when they had the Actobotics builds stuff, all the Actobotics stuff. I know they were going out of this stuff, and some of my builds had some of the stuff in it, so I stocked up on as much of it as I could, and probably got way too much. This is basically all my leftover WPL stuff. I got some of my brushed motors, my 55 turn and different motors, Actobotic motors. This is all WPL stuff here, all extra rims, tires, rims, and different mechanical stuff. And then I've got a bunch of Servo City gear motors, the 1-inch diameter 370 motors, or whatever they want to call them. Here is most of my 14th scale semi stuff, you know, front axles, bumpers, just miscellaneous stuff. This is some of the 3D printing stuff that I've had and, you know, broken and fixed and switched all to metal anyway. So leaf springs, grills, some gear jammer brass here when I could get them. I think they're back in stock again. These are RCP walking beams. I've got another set of those yet. Got to kind of keep that stuff together so I don't lose it. Just leaf springs, you name it. It's just kind of front axles, and it's crazy. But it helps me keep me organized. And well, here is gear motors. You know, 540 motors and different gear reductions, robot zone motors, you name it, it's in here. I got some bunch of N20s and you name it, I got it. I get to this drawer here, or this cabinet. I usually stock any extra radios that I have. Like there's two i6S's and an i6X radio, which I have 4 more i6s coming. And then, you know, you see my drawer of nuts and bolts and hardware. That's completely full of nuts and bolts. More nuts and bolts. A lot of the Tamiya suspension components for the trucks, bushings and whatnot, you name it. Bunch more Tamiya stuff, you know, extra pieces and whatnot, you know, tank mounts, suspension components. This is a bunch of 632 hardware, mounting hardware. And I think this one's got some bolts and some electrical conjunctions in that, which I got another box of that stuff. All kinds of 1.7 rims and tires in here, Lassus and RC full drive, you name it. And you see this tray, and there's a tray under here, another tray here, all full of 370 motors, all 370 motor stuff. Here is a used i6S radio that I got from somebody. Oh, I got an empty box. I can put some more nuts and bolts in there. So yeah, this is my overflow of tires. This is my overflow of 1.7 tires. I'll kind of put some of this stuff back. Yeah, you guys bored yet? If you're not, we got more to go. Just kind of going through some of the stuff. Now, here is my drawer full of 1.9 tires. This stuff's all 1.9 tires and foams. Some heavier, denser foam ones that I built for some of the trucks that, you know, kind of have to haul a few things. I think there is actually some 2.2 tires in there too, but here's all my 1.7 collection in that drawer, which now that I've got some open up space, I could probably move some stuff over there from my overflow. Here is all my 1.7 rims, and there's some tires. Some of these rims already have tires on them. And these are all my Hydraulic Hobby aluminum rims. This box is full, that box is full, this box is full, and so is that box. Here's my little label maker to label what's in my drawers or label my radios. There's some conduit. There's some Lasue axles in here, as well as the cheaper Chinese knockoff axles in here as well. Transfer cases. I think there's some drive shafts in here. All my extra tapes for my label maker. You name it. You guys still with me? Or are you getting sick of it yet? Well, anyway. The top drawer here is just filled with like owner's manuals that I printed out. Reflective labels, my logo labels. There's plastic and screen, different mesh screens and stuff in here. All kinds of stuff that's flat and easily. All my extra decals are in here. It's kind of a cluster. And my little brooder figures are in there. Here is my track collection. This is all brooder stuff, tracks that I've taken off of stuff. Here's my old tracks, the original tracks off my DXR2. I'm keeping them around. You never know when you might need them. There's some drive sprockets in here for like 963s, brooder conversions and whatnot, and idlers for that I've started with for making more dozers and extra tracks. Here's my hydraulic hoses, copper tubing, flexible copper tubing, hydraulic reservoirs, fittings, hydraulic fittings. There's some cylinders in here, some of the protective spring that goes over the hydraulic lines, hydraulic pumps, you name it, it's probably in there. All my ESCs, brushed and brushless, of all kinds, in that drawer. All my LED lighting is in here. My switches and different lighting kits and different wired, pre-wired bulbs of different colors, 3mm and 5mm. Here is strictly sound kits. Some Lasue, some GT Power, some something. I can't remember what the heck the name of it is. Sense Innovations ESS duals. There's a couple of them in there. There's some JDM sound kits in there. Here's all my Octronic linear actuators, as well as the non-Octronic knockoff brand linear actuators. There's a box here in there. Let's go over this way. Here's lead weights, foam, my double edge tape, AAA batteries, Velcro for making battery hold downs, you know, Velcro on batteries to keep them in place. All kinds of just miscellaneous stuff. There's just a few batteries in here. Oh, some extra DXR2 drives. I usually got my batteries all over my bags, but I threw them in here, get them off the bench for now. the elastic bands that I make my tie-down straps out of. I make all the hooks myself one at a time, and use different color banding. My stapler, my heavy-duty stapler, that I actually used that to staple my conveyor belting. I have a drawer full of conveyor belting to make conveyors. I started using this stuff and I had a bunch of it. The problem is it's really super heavy and not very flexible. Takes a lot of horsepower. So I switched mainly over to treadmill belting. Now this drawer here is just absolutely filled with junk. Well, there's my neck off my lowboy trailer, my blade off my DXR2 because I upgraded that. There's brooder frames and cabs, and yeah, there's actually a whole 620 tracked machine Ertl in there in a box that I started and never finished. Now I can't remember. There's some brooder stuff, extra parts and whatnot down there. But okay, here's my other lathe. This is the one's more precision. The head it's straighter, truer. It's another cheaper Harbor Freight type unit, but it's been very reliable. There's been a lot of aluminum and brass and cetyl plastic spun on this lathe. My little bench grinder, my drill press that I've had for about 35 years, and same with my bandsaw. I bought this and that at the same time. So this thing has cut a lot of material. That thing has drilled a lot of holes. So let's see, I'm going to turn another light on over here. Here's my benchtop bender for doing sheet metal. It's just benchtop one. It's not, you're not going to do 3/16, but you're going to do thin sheet metal. It works good enough for me. Yeah, just radio boxes, my little arbor press. This is actually used to be an old drafting table. You know, it used to tip up and everything. It just kind of got put here, and I got all kinds of different stuff stashed underneath it too, and all kinds of stuff stashed up there. Oh yeah, well, this is off topic, but that was a Hemi Honda motor that was in my go-kart, but if you'll notice, there's a hole in the piston. Yeah, glad I'm done with that hobby. That's an ARC rod, ARC. I mean, it was built pretty good, but not good enough. Yeah, you know, but everything's kind of dirty, but this is where most of the work goes. You know, right here, guys. Most of my work is done right here at this bench and watching that TV. It's usually background noise. I hardly ever watch it. It's just more. But yeah, a lot of these tools I don't use anymore. You know, I might get out this and then a few of my nut drivers and some of the small metric sockets, but you know. And then I got all my wiring, silicone wiring, different gauges and whatnot to do different things. You know, 20 gauge, 19 gauge, or 22, 18, 30 gauge, all different wiring sizes. You know, I don't really need to go through all my drawers because they're all full of tools. But yeah, it gets. I went through and organized all this at one time, but yeah, just an old shed that I've kind of fixed up and insulated and got heat and air conditioning in it. The shed is 42 by 24. with a low ceiling. But and I got a couple new tables today to take the show, and I'm gonna hopefully do one here in August. But yeah, it's a mess. It's a disaster. I didn't clean anything up for the video, guys. But one thing I'm gonna go do. Yeah, I used to be into Scorpion snowmobiles once upon a time. I used to have about 45 or 50 of them here at one time, and all kinds of other vintage stuff, vintage snowmobiles. But I'm kind of glad to be out of that hobby. That took up a lot of room. But getting back to my box building, like all of these box have a box. The Scania needs a box. I need to make a box for my little 450. I may make a box for that, the gooseneck trailer. I don't know. I really haven't decided. But my dump trucks, they both still need boxes to be made. I need to make a box for that excavator, for that truck. I don't know if I'll worry about that so much to get a truck for it or not. These are more precious for transportation. The tractor that's in that box, I need to get a box made for it, an actual supporting box. But yeah, I think I went to the Dubuque show in Dubuque, Iowa, and I had almost everything I have here I had at the show. That was a lot of work loading that up in an enclosed trailer. And yes, I'm going to have a beer. I don't know if YouTube likes that or not, but I really don't care. Yeah, guys, I've rambled on a long time, but here's the thing. I know somebody wanted me to get all my stuff out and show every piece of equipment. You can kind of see now what it would take to get everything out of the box, on a table, laid out on the floor, for somebody to look at, you know, or for me to walk around. It's a lot of work. I just don't have quite that much time. I was bored tonight and decided, well, let's take you along for a walk around, you know, see what you guys think. Sorry, shop's a mess. It's being used. You know, it's not it's like a house that's lived in, you know. I do a lot of different things, and always keeping myself busy. So, but yeah, I just brought you along for the ride. So I hope you enjoyed it. Hope I didn't bore you too long, too bad, or too much. So anyway, catch you guys later.